Hello everyone, myself Swati Jayavant Kokate from Nagesh Karazgi Orchid School. Today we are going to continue with Geography lesson number 4, that is air. In the last lecture what we have studied, just recall children, we have studied the meaning of air, okay, then composition of air, what are the components of air or atmosphere, that is nitrogen we have seen, oxygen as well as other important gases, in what percentage they are present, all these things we have seen. Also we have seen the structure of atmosphere. In this we have seen that first one troposphere, then stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere and last one exosphere. All this we have seen the layers in which area they are on the earth. We have seen all this, okay. Then we were discussing, we had also discussed about weather and climate, what is the difference and what are the factors causing this. We have seen air pressure or circulation of air. Again we are going to discuss this in detail because air pressure somewhere we were little confused, and let us go to the thing. Air pressure. So you will be surprised children, you feel air, isn't it? When you go, you feel air that today it is airy or like this you say, but you will be surprised that this air has a pressure, okay. You will say that we don't feel, but somewhere it is. Then if we don't feel also, we have proved that their air has a pressure, and because of this presses or this pressure, see here the direction of our body exerts a counter pressure. So we feel this pressure. Now let us see, on the moon there is no air and hence no air pressure. Astronauts have to wear special protective space suits filled with air when they go on the moon. So we know that why there is no life on the moon, because there is no air which we require to breathe, isn't it? So astronauts when they go for some just discoveries, what they do? They wear a special protective suits, space suits, and which consists of air. When they go to the moon, if they will not wear these suits, what will happen? The counter pressure exerted by the body of the astronaut would make the blood vessels burst, okay. The astronauts would bleed, the vessels, blood vessels which are in their body, they would burst. So this will be the fact if they don't carry the space suits which are having air in it, okay, filled with air. So like this we can say that it has the pressure, weight of air on the earth's surface as we go up. So here we can see, which is important for this lesson, as we go up you have to remember layers of atmosphere, the pressure falls rapidly. So as we go up, the pressure of the air falls. The air pressure is the highest at sea level and decreases with its height. Means sea level means where the ground level, okay, and the level of the sea, from at that level the pressure is highest, okay, and the level and decreases with its height, means as we go up the pressure decreases. Horizontally the distribution of air pressure is influenced by temperature of air at a given place. Means now you have seen the pressure or it goes up, but when there is vacancy or the gap is there, then horizontally the distribution of air pressure, it is influenced by temperature at a given place. Where is the place? It occupies it. In areas where temperature is high, the air gets heated and rises. So here also one more point you have to remember, that when the temperature is high, the air gets heated, okay, the air which is present, it gets heated, and as it gets heated, it rises up. This creates a low pressure in that area. So low pressure is associated with cloudy skies and wet weather. So now what is the effect of it? Because of this low pressure, is occupied with or associated with cloudy skies and then the wet weather as we experience during the rainy seasons. In areas having low temperature, the air is cold. Okay, the areas where there is low temperature, the air is very cool. It is therefore heavy. So, the air is heavy there. Heavy air sinks. It does not go up, it sinks and creates a high pressure area. So, how is the pressure there of air? It is high. High pressure is associated with clear and sunny skies. So, obviously this all air, it does not go into the sky, and so the sky is clear and sunny, means you can see the sun clearly, like how it is during summer seasons. Okay. The air always move from high pressure areas to low pressure areas. So, the air, it moves from high pressure, and where there is low pressure, it occupies that space. Okay, this one. Now next let us move to the next topic, subtopic of this lesson, that is wind. Now air we have seen and wind. Now you may be thinking, children, that what is the difference now? Air, okay, wind, one and the same they are, isn't it? But no, see, air is, when there is, means present everywhere and we feel it even if there is, you are in the school or even you are in the home, okay, that something very smooth running, whatever is going on, it is air. But now wind, okay, you may have seen that the air, when it comes with a high pressure, sometimes when you go or see from the gallery or from the window, you see that the trees move, okay, the clothes also which were drying on your terrace, they also fall down, isn't it? So, some of the books also fall from your desk. So, that is wind. And what we can say, that the movement of air from high pressure area to low pressure area is called wind. So, now it will be easy for you to just remember what is the difference between air and wind. You have noticed it. The movement of air when it is from high pressure area to low pressure area, it is called as wind. You can see that wind at work as it blows dry leaves, isn't it, down the pavement, uproots the trees. So, when there is heavy wind or even some of the trees while going from the school, you might have seen that the trees were uprooted, fallen during a storm, isn't it. So, when there is heavy wind, we can call it storms. Sometimes when the wind blows gently, you can even see it blowing away smoke, fine dust, isn't it. When you go from school, you may see that due to wind, the dust also is moved away. At times, wind can be strong, that is difficult to walk against. Sometimes you feel while walking also, you see that the wind is too strong and it is very difficult to walk against it, opposite to that wind. So, just you can't hold an umbrella, isn't it. Think of some of the examples when strong winds have created problems for you. Just it is, winds can be broadly, so okay, just think of the things, just remember when the winds were there, or even next whenever you will notice it, you will remember the lesson. Now what is westerly winds, just we will see. A wind is named from a direction, okay, from which it blows. Example, if the wind blowing from the west is called westerly, fine. Here arrows you can see, isn't it. If the wind blows from west side, it is called westerly. If the wind blows from east, it is called easterly, okay. Now here the wind is again classified, or it is in 3 parts, divided into 3 types. Now let us see. First is permanent wind. The trade winds, westerlies, I told you westerlies or easterlies, it means coming from west, and here it is coming from east. These are the permanent winds. These blow constantly throughout the year in a particular direction. So, what is now permanent wind? Just see the trade winds. They are permanent and they come from westerly and easterlies. They blow constantly throughout the year and they blow in a particular direction. These are some of the characteristics of permanent wind. To just see or make it easy to know the types of winds. Now for that you should know what are trade winds. Okay, if just note down children, what are trade winds? They are the prevailing or existing at a particular time. We can say they are existing at a particular time of easterly surface winds found in the tropics within the lower portion of the Earth's atmosphere or in the lower section of the troposphere, that is near the Earth's equator. So what are trade winds? Just once more I will repeat it, note down children. They are prevailing or existing pattern at a particular time. Okay, so they come at a particular time and winds found in the tropics within the lower portion of the Earth's atmosphere, in the lower section of the troposphere near the Earth's equator. So these are the trade winds, and we have seen this. These are blow constantly throughout the year in a particular direction. Now second one, seasonal winds. What are seasonal winds? Here we go with it. These winds change their direction from season to season in their different seasons. For example, monsoons in India. So when do we have monsoon? You must have heard that the monsoon will come in June, or it has extended, and also you see that the monsoon is going to come before like in the first week of June and all, you must have heard. So why these changes are there? Because these wind changes their direction in different seasons, and one of the example is monsoon in India. Now let us go to third one, that is local wind. These blow only during a particular period of day or year in a small area, like land and sea breeze. So here third one, local winds. What are these? These blow only during a particular period, okay, and of the day or the year in a small area, and the example is land or the sea breeze. See, what is land breeze and sea breeze? When the breeze or when the air, you can say breeze is something which feels very comfortable. Wind means how it comes with a force, but breeze means sometimes you feel very nice when the cool air comes, isn't it? So it is a breeze. Now the breeze which comes from the land is called a land breeze, and the breeze when you go and see near the beach or sea, and when the breeze comes, that is a sea breeze. Do you recall the hot or dry local wind of northern plains of India? It is called a Lu. So you have seen that the hot and dry local winds, like in deserts and all, how the wind is? It is like plains of India, it is very hot, and that is called as Lu. See, in this diagram na children, they have given the degrees of the north, south and all, and how the pressures are there, and the polar easterlies, these are subpolar low pressures, and these are the directions shown by the arrows of the winds, how it flows. So these are the major pressure belts and wind system. This will be in detail, you will be explained all these degrees, and you will be explained in 8th standard. This is now just for your reference, just how are these divided into 3 types. So this figure just you have to see and remember all these degrees, and it will be discussed in 8th standard in detail. Now here the next is cyclone, nature's fury. So what is fury? You can say that the fury means wild anger, like when there is cyclone, when the wind comes, you have seen or read in the newspapers that all the things get destroyed due to cyclones. Many of the houses, even trees or vehicles also, four-wheelers and all, everything, the full villages or cities and the full area goes under this destruction, and which is caused by the cyclones. So here is the story of, or given advertisement given in the picture, and what were the effects of it. Odisha, located on the eastern sea coast of India, is prone to cyclone that originate in the Bay of Bengal. So on 17-18 October 1999, this cyclone had 5 districts of the state, means see, it has covered 5 of the districts of the state. Another super cyclone occurred on 29th October 99 that devastated large portion of the state, means too much damage was there. And 3 of the factors, which were the factors causing this? Because of the winds, here wind velocity, rain and also tidal surge. The winds of up to 260 kilometers per hour lasted over 36 hours, means see, continuous 36 hours. This speed, see how it was, up to 260 kilometers per hour, and it was continuously for 36 hours. So this range, high velocity winds uprooted trees, damaged kacha houses, roofs, isn't it? Also industrial sheds and everything, houses were blown away. Power supply, industrial shade and telecom lines also snapped completely, they were not working. Heavy rain occurred under the influence of the cyclone for 3 days continuously, and due to this cyclone there was heavy rain. So see how it affects, or how the things are going on, means due to this cyclone even there was heavy rainfall, and which was continuous for 3 days. These rains led to flooding in the major rivers of Odisha. So due to this continuous rain there was floods. The cyclonic winds caused tidal waves that swept 20 kilometers. So they up to the range of the waves also, they were going up to 20 kilometers inland and brought massive destructions to the coastal areas. Coastal means to the side areas of this area, they were all destructed. The 7 to 8 meter high tidal wave intruded suddenly and caused massive damage to the standing paddy crops. So the crops even were ready to cut, but all these were destroyed and up to 7 to 10 meters high. So this again here it is continued. The cyclone originated as a depression in the Gulf of Thailand near east of the Port Blair on 25th October 99 and gradually moved in a northwestward direction. So how this cyclone it changed its direction and how it went, all these things are given. Then on 25th October 99 it moved to the northwestwards direction. It's intensified into a super cyclone and hit the area between Irasama and Balikuda in Odisha. So these are the names of these cities there, places there on 29th October at 10:30 am. You can go through it, children, just for your reference. These things are given when there was the super cyclone swept the entire coast of Odisha, including the cities of Bhubaneswar and Cuttack and 28 coastal towns. About 13 million people were affected. See how much people they were affected due to this destruction or this cyclone. Near about 13 million people. A large number of livestock were killed, like animals, okay, cows, buffaloes, those are called livestock, and they were also killed. Standing crops of paddy, vegetables and fruits were heavily damaged. Due to salinization caused by tidal surge, large tracts of agriculture plantation has disappeared. So see how was the destruction, even the mangrove forest between Paradip and Konark vanished. So even the forests, okay, they were also destroyed due to this. So all this it is given in this box or in this ad. Next one we are going to see moisture. Now you must have heard that moisture, okay. What is this word moisture? Let us see first what is moisture, what does it mean. So again it will be clear what is other related things to it. Moisture, when water vapor evaporates from land and different water bodies, it becomes water vapor. So what is moisture? The water evaporates, okay. You have seen that the water evaporates from land and different water bodies. What are different water bodies? Different water bodies are river, lake, okay. And what happens? Water, it evaporates and it becomes vapor, which we have seen in the water cycle, isn't it? Last year we have seen it in water cycle. Then this moisture in the air at any time is known as humidity. See, during when the rain falls, okay, before that sometimes you feel that it is very hot or like humid, means not the sun is there, not the sun is too hot, but the moisture is present in the air, and due to that water droplets present in the air, you feel very hot and uneasy, isn't it? And when it rains very heavily, again when the droplets come down to the earth and you feel again cool or very pleasant. When the air is full of water vapor, we call it as humid air. Humid day means now yet the rain has not taken place, means it has not occurred, yet the droplets or the vapors are present in the air. As the air gets warmer, its capacity to hold the water vapor increases, okay. When the air gets warmer and its capacity to hold the water vapor which has evaporated from the water, it goes on increasing, fine. So it becomes more and more humid. So you think that means when before rainy you feel very humid. What is the reason? So when the water vapor increases or the capacity, when the air gets warmer, the capacity to hold water vapor increases and you feel very hot and humid. So you have seen that during humid day, clothes take a longer time to dry. Also you feel very sweat, means you feel uneasy and not evaporate easily, making us feel very uncomfortable, as I had told you. When the water vapor rises, it starts cooling. So here again see, you can see here the cold air, okay. When the warm air goes, it precipitates, means the rain falls and you feel very pleasant. When the water vapor rises, it starts cooling. The water vapor condenses means from vapor it comes to again water, becomes water, causing formation of droplets of water. Clouds are just masses of such water droplets. So what are clouds? They are the big, means the collective of mass of such water droplets. When these droplets of water become too heavy, they float in the air. Then they come down as precipitation. What is precipitation? Rainfall. Just simple word, don't confuse here. Precipitation is rainfall. When the clouds come into droplets or they come from the sky on the earth and they rain, it is called as precipitation. Now here you have seen jet planes flying in the sky, leave a white trail behind them. Sometimes you see children that while the plane flies in the sky, something white thing or trail, something is left behind, isn't it? So what is the cause? the moisture from the engine condenses. Here the moisture, what it has become? It condenses, and we see trials of the condensed moisture for some time till the air does not go and disturbs that movement. We see it. Okay. Now here precipitation. What is precipitation? Precipitation, I told you, that comes down to the earth in liquid form, that is rain, isn't it? Now see, you have seen that this is raining, we can call it as precipitation. Precipitation that comes down to the earth in liquid form is called rain. Most of the groundwater comes from rainwater. Plants help preserve water. When trees on hillsides are cut, rainwater flow down and bare mountains and can cause flooding of low-lying area. So here what is precipitation and what is rainwater and all? How the rainwater helps for the plants, or also the plants preserve the water, means they just hold the water, isn't it, under the ground. So plants also help to preserve water. When trees on hillsides are cut, rainwater flows down and bare mountains. So on the hillsides, when the water or the trees are cut, what happens? The rain flows down and from the mountains, and they cause flooding of low-lying areas. Means where from the mountains, low plains are there, isn't it? Lying low areas, there the flooding will occur if we cut more trees. On the basis of mechanism, there are three types of rainfall: convectional rainfall, orographic rainfall, and the cyclonic rainfall. See here, again I will tell you what are these. Here, first one, cyclonic rainfall. Okay, what is cyclone? It is a general term for a variety of low pressure system such as tropical cyclone, extra tropical cyclone, or tornadoes. So here we can see that when there is cold air and also warm air, and when it comes directly from the clouds, this is cyclonic rainfall. And what is here? Relief, or you can say orographic rainfall, when the what we call the clouds, or when the clouds are just do not pass the mountains, and it due to this temperature or due to the pressure, the droplets come in the form of precipitation. It is called as orographic rainfall. It is the rain which is produced by the lifting of moist air over a mountain. And what is cyclonic rainfall? It is due to two air masses that is meet at the front, that is cold air and warm air. They meet here, and due to this cyclonic rainfall is there. And next one, we have seen convectional rainfall, isn't it? Why it occurs? Just this, it goes directly, warm air goes directly to the sky and clouds are formed and it rains. It is called as convectional rainfall. It occurs when the warm air deflected from the land rises and forms rain clouds here. So again we are going to see why rain is very important, because plants as well as animals and human beings, we are dependent on it. It brings fresh air, water to earth's surface. If rainfall is less, water scarcity and also drought may occur. On the other hand, it is very difficult if the floods take place. So rainfall means it should be in a proper proportion what it is told. So children, if you have understood the lesson, even go through the difficult something types of what we have seen, moisture, also rainfall, you go through it, you read the lesson and also try to solve the objectives. Thank you.